Today, we're diving into a group of ancient grains called positive millets, and they're making a huge comeback for a really powerful reason: their incredible effect on our metabolic health. So let's get right into what makes them so profoundly different from the grains most of us eat every day. The best way to get it is to think of your metabolism like a furnace. Polished rice, with its measly 0.2% fiber, it's basically dry kindling. It just flares up in a flash, gives you a massive blood sugar spike, and then poof, it's gone. But positive millets, now they're like a solid, slow-burning log. They're packed with 8 to 12.5% fiber, so they give you this steady, consistent release of energy that keeps your metabolic furnace burning strong and stable. So here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. First, we'll look at their slow burn secret. Then, and this is super important, a critical safety checkpoint. After that, I'll walk you through the exact protocol to prepare them, and finally, we'll cover the rules for getting the absolute maximum benefit. All right, so what is it about these grains that makes them so special? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of why they're such a powerhouse for metabolic stability. First off, we're not talking about just any millets. The term positive millets refers to these 5 specific types right here: Foxtail, Little, Kodo, Barnyard, and Browntop. They're really in a class of their own because of their unique nutritional makeup. And the number at the very heart of this whole thing is their dietary fiber content. We're talking a range of 8% to a whopping 12.5%. This incredibly high fiber content is the master key that unlocks almost all of their health benefits, especially that slow, steady energy release we were just talking about. But beyond just the fiber, they've got a couple of other superpowers. They're naturally alkaline forming, which helps to balance your body's pH. And they're completely gluten-free. That makes them an amazing, non-inflammatory choice for pretty much everyone, especially for folks with gluten sensitivity or celiac disease. Okay, let's hit pause for a second. Before we go any further into how to use these grains, we absolutely have to talk about a non-negotiable safety warning. Seriously, it is so important that you pay close attention to this next part. So here it is, the single most crucial point. If you have type 2 diabetes, you must, and I mean must, talk to your doctor before you make this kind of dietary change. This isn't just a friendly suggestion, it is a mandatory safety step. You might be thinking, wait a minute, if they're so healthy, what's the risk? Why is this such a big deal? Well, the risk is something called hypoglycemia, which means dangerously low blood sugar. You see, because these millets are so incredibly effective at lowering blood glucose, the medication you're currently on, especially insulin, could suddenly become way too strong. And that can cause a sharp, really dangerous drop in your sugar levels. And that right there is exactly why your doctor is so essential. Any changes to your medication have to be done gradually and only under direct medical supervision. You cannot and you should not try to adjust your dosages by yourself, ever. Okay, now that we've covered that critical warning, let's get into the fun part, the practical side. To really get all the amazing benefits, you have to prepare these millets the right way. Think of it like you're unlocking their hidden nutritional potential. I love this analogy. Think of the millets as a tightly sealed storage vault. They are just jam-packed with nutrients, but all that good stuff is locked away inside a really tough, dense fiber matrix. If you don't prepare them properly, your body just can't get to what's inside. So how do we crack open this vault? It's a simple 3-step process. First, you soak. You got to soak the grains overnight for about 8 to 10 hours in boiled hot water. This is the absolute key to softening that tough fiber. Second, in the morning, you drain all of that soaking water away completely. And third, you cook them in a pressure cooker using a very strict 1-to-5 ratio. That's 1 cup of millet to 5 cups of fresh water. And you cook it for at least 8 to 10 whistles until those grains are very, very soft. All right, you've unlocked the vault. Now, how do you eat them to get the biggest therapeutic effects? There are 2 simple but really important rules to follow. Rule number 1 is rotate, don't mix. Now, this is interesting. For the full medicinal benefit, you want to eat just 1 type of millet, let's say foxtail, for 2 days straight. Then, on day 3, you switch to a different one, like little millet, for the next 2 days. The key here is you never mix the different varieties together in the same meal. And rule number 2 is all about portion size. Because these grains are so incredibly high in fiber, they are way more filling than rice. You only need about 1/3 of your normal portion. Trust me, a little goes a very, very long way. So let's do a quick recap of the most important points. You've got the 5 positive millets, which act like that slow-burning log for your metabolism. The absolutely critical safety warning: if you have type 2 diabetes, you must talk to your doctor first. The preparation method is key: soak, drain, and pressure cook. And finally, the rules for eating them: rotate every 2 days and stick to a 1/3 portion size. Which kind of leaves us with one big question to think about. As modern metabolic diseases keep rising, is it possible that one of the most powerful tools for our health has been waiting for us this whole time, hidden in plain sight inside these ancient grains?